Ever wondered what you would do if a nuclear attack was imminent? It's not exactly a pleasant thought, yet it's a reality we live in. In this day and age, the threat of nuclear warfare, while not at our doorstep, is certainly not a thing of the past. It's a shadow that looms, often forgotten, yet ever present. The world is a complex chessboard and we're all players in it. The stakes, quite literally, our lives. It's not about living in fear, but about being prepared. Having a plan could mean the difference between life and death. In the face of such a threat, knowledge is your greatest weapon. Today we will delve into the world of nuclear survival. We'll walk you through the crucial steps you need to take when a nuclear attack is imminent. We'll show you how to turn the odds in your favor, how to give yourself a fighting chance. So, are you ready to learn how to survive a nuclear attack? First and foremost, understanding a nuclear blast is crucial in survival. A nuclear explosion unfolds in three main stages, each with their unique dangers. Let's delve into each of these stages to better grasp the threats they pose, and why immediate shelter is so vital. The first stage is the flash and shockwave. This is the initial intensity of the blast, causing a blinding light and a colossal wave of pressure. The flash can cause temporary or permanent blindness, while the shockwave can demolish buildings and cause severe burns. Anyone outside and close to the blast would likely not survive this stage. The second stage involves initial nuclear radiation. Unlike the flash and shockwave, this danger is invisible. This initial radiation is incredibly intense but short-lived, lasting only about 1 minute. However, within this minute it can cause severe radiation sickness or even instant death. Even if you're several miles away from the blast, you're not safe from this radiation. The third and final stage is the fallout. Fallout is the radioactive dust and debris propelled into the atmosphere by the blast, which then falls back down to Earth. This fallout can contaminate large areas for weeks, months, or even years, causing radiation sickness in those exposed. Now, why is understanding these stages so important? Because your actions in the first few minutes after a nuclear explosion can significantly impact your chances of survival. The flash and shockwave are immediate, but if you're far enough away from the epicenter, you may have a few seconds to take shelter before they hit. And after that, staying sheltered can protect you from the initial nuclear radiation and fallout. The goal here is to reduce your exposure to the intense heat, the pressure wave, and the radioactive fallout. The less exposed you are to these deadly elements, the higher your chances of survival. Remember, the key to surviving a nuclear attack is to reduce exposure to these deadly elements. When a nuclear attack is imminent, finding shelter should be your top priority. In the face of such a dire situation, you must be a beacon of calm and purpose. Panic will not serve you here. Instead, let's talk about the best places to seek refuge. First, consider your immediate surroundings. If you are in a building with multiple levels, head for the basement or a sub-basement if there is one. These areas are typically well protected from the destructive forces of a nuclear blast. If you're not near a multi-storied building, look for a windowless room in the center of a building. The more walls and floors between you and the outside world, the better. Now, you may think that any shelter will do, but the structure of the building matters greatly. Modern skyscrapers, for instance, with their glass exteriors, are not ideal. You want a sturdy, robust structure. Concrete or brick buildings are your best bet, but finding shelter is just the start. Once you're inside, stay put. This is crucial. The instinct to flee, to get as far away as possible, is strong, but resist it. The fallout from a nuclear blast is most dangerous in the first 48 hours. This is when the radioactive particles in the air are at their most potent. It's these particles that can cause radiation sickness, not the initial blast itself. So stay inside, stay sheltered. This is your best chance of survival. I know, it's a lot to take in. The thought of a nuclear attack is terrifying, but knowledge is power, and in this scenario, it could be your saving grace. Understanding where to find shelter and how to use it to your advantage is a crucial part of surviving a nuclear attack. Remember, the goal is not just to survive the initial blast, but the dangerous hours and days that follow. And for that, shelter is key. Being in the right place at the right time could mean the difference between life and death. So seek shelter, stay put, and stay alive. While shelter is crucial, survival also depends on having the right supplies. It's a statement of fact, not a suggestion. The truth of the matter is that in a nuclear disaster, having the right supplies can make the difference between life and death. First on the list, and perhaps the most vital, is water. The human body can only survive for about 3 days without it. But in a nuclear disaster, you might not have access to safe, clean water for up to 2 weeks. So, it's essential to stockpile enough water for each person to have at least 1 gallon per day. That's 14 gallons per person per fortnight. Next, consider food. Opt for non-perishable items like canned goods, dried fruits, and energy bars. These items have long shelf lives and require little to no preparation. Just remember, you'll need enough to sustain each person for 2 weeks. Medical supplies are also crucial. A first aid kit can be a lifesaver, literally. It should include items like bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, medical tape, and over-the-counter pain relievers. Also, don't forget any prescription medications you or your family may need. Finally, let's not overlook the importance of communication. A battery-powered or hand-crank radio can keep you connected to the outside world, provide vital updates, and offer a lifeline when you feel isolated. Storing these supplies is just as important as having them. Choose a cool, dry place that's easily accessible. A basement or a dedicated closet can work perfectly. Remember to rotate your supplies to keep them fresh and check them regularly to ensure they're still in good condition. In the face of a nuclear disaster, having these essentials can provide a sense of security and control in a situation that's anything but predictable. So, take the time now to gather these items and store them properly. It's an investment in your safety and survival. Being prepared isn't just about having a plan, it's also about having the right resources. And remember, the best time to prepare for a disaster is before it happens. So don't wait until it's too late, start preparing today. Now that you're sheltered and stocked up, the next step is dealing with fallout. Fallout is the residual radioactive material propelled into the atmosphere following a nuclear blast, which falls back to Earth, contaminating large areas. This invisible poison is a silent killer, and understanding how to handle it is crucial for your survival. Firstly, it's important to stay inside your shelter at all costs for at least 48 hours after the blast. The most intense fallout occurs during the first 2 days, and leaving your shelter too soon can put you in grave danger. Yes, you might feel the need to go outside, check on loved ones, or find more supplies, but resist the urge. Your shelter is your lifeline. Now let's talk about cleanliness. It's not just a matter of comfort, but a matter of life and death in this situation. Fallout particles can stick to your skin, your clothes, and anything you touch. Regularly washing yourself and your clothes is vital to avoid contamination. Remember to use the water you have stored for this purpose sparingly though, as it will also need to last for drinking and cooking. Next, we need to discuss how to handle contaminated materials. Any items or clothing that have been exposed to fallout should be disposed of properly. Keep a separate container for these items and avoid touching them directly. Use gloves or tongs to handle them and keep them far away from your living and eating areas. Finally, remember to keep your living space as dust-free as possible. Fallout particles can easily mix with dust and be inhaled or ingested, so regular cleaning is essential. Use damp cloths to wipe down surfaces and keep the air as clean as possible. Surviving a nuclear attack is about more than just making it through the blast. It's also about navigating the aftermath. Understanding and dealing with fallout is a key part of that journey. It's a daunting task, but with the right knowledge and preparation, you can increase your chances of survival significantly. So, to recap, surviving a nuclear attack involves understanding the threat, finding shelter, stocking up on supplies, and dealing with fallout. The grim reality is that nuclear attacks are a genuine threat, but with the right knowledge, you can increase your chances of survival. First, you must comprehend the nature of a nuclear blast. It's not just the explosion itself, but also the residual radiation that can harm you. Hence, finding suitable shelter is crucial. This could be a basement, an interior room without windows, or even a fallout shelter if one is accessible. Equally important is having the necessary supplies. This includes food, water, medical items, and materials to seal off your shelter from radioactive particles. Finally, dealing with fallout is no easy task. You must remain in your shelter until it's safe to emerge, which could be days or even weeks. Remember, the key to surviving a nuclear attack is preparation, quick action, and staying informed. Thank you for watching. Knowledge is power. Stay curious, stay informed, and we will see you in the next video.